stand out of our solar system, make the universe seek only peace and friendship, to teach if we are called upon, to be taught if we are fortunate. And it is with humility and hope that we take this step.
Hello, stream. I think we're live. Definitely looks like we're live. Good evening, everyone. Or good morning. Or good afternoon. Depends. Let's see. I'm gonna be figuring this shit out as I go. I did set some things up prior to starting stream, so hopefully we can make this a mostly smooth experience. Let's see. So what I want to do is I want to do some application development on Urbit. What I plan on doing today is writing djay, a socially fueled music player. I already prepared some notes on it here. What I want to be able to do is have YouTube links that get posted to paldev music automatically played to the audience that is watching the quote-unquote music stream on pal.dev/music. So to accomplish that, we'll write a small app, pretty minimal, that will just watch a hall channel for incoming messages with YouTube URLs. It's going to keep track of a queue and then a playlist. The playlist so that we can play things in the absence of any recent additions to the queue. And then for new URLs, we'll use the YouTube API to fetch a name and duration of the thing, and then add it alongside the submitter's patp to the queue. Then periodically, on a timer based on the duration of those videos, we'll pop an item off the queue, update subscribers, post now playing to chat. Let's just get started and see where we end up. I did test my mic setup beforehand. If my voice is maybe too loud or too soft or the music is overpowering it, please do let me know in stream chat and I'll try and fix it. Hey Maxwell, thank you for joining us. So we start off by giving a short description. Fuel, typos, music player, and in our description we already had two structures. We have a queue, which is a list of items, playlist items. Hi Travis, thank you for joining. And then we have an item, which is it has a name, which is probably a chord. We may want to do a tape. I always think tapes are slightly easier to work with. I think generally for exporting you want to go with chords, but we'll see where we end up with this. A name, a duration, which should be a relative date, so a chime duration. And then, what do we say? Submitter. Okay. Two lists, queue. I was gonna turn this list here into a checklist. So this is done. There we go. Progress already. Can't believe I'm actually getting something done here. Okay. This is not sufficient for an app though. At the very least, we'll want a bowl and state, and then we can say that application state is a queue and a playlist. We'll probably want to add timers to this, just futzing around for a bit. So this is special notation, which is essentially equivalent to saying this. I've been trying it out. Sometimes I do end up in situations where I have to like append the gets to like actually get at the type. I'm not sure if I'll have to get at the type often though, but we'll see. Application wants a prep arm, which takes a potentially old state. For now, because we'll be working on this often, we'll just say take a noun, equip move this thing, the cab plus gar. What did gar get renamed to even? I don't remember. For saying, hey, we're gonna produce a list of moves, so some side effects and something that looks like our application state. For now, let's just say we're gonna, for illustrational purposes, printf that. If we go and copy this into our figzod, which is set up ahead of time and may or may not be slow to sync in changes, and we should be able to see this compile at least. Is it hanging? It's definitely hanging on this. I gave it some key press inputs, it's not taking them. There it goes. I've seen it take long on syncs before. I thought that only happened if I copied in like all of Arvo again, and that was maybe checking all of it for changes. It's interesting to see that it also happens for individual files. We should be able to start djay now. Nest fill. Brilliant, there we go. This is the experience, of course. This should be a list of moves and state, not just state. Copy it in first though. It should automatically compile now. There, prep called. That's it. Cool. We have a little something already. Okay, so what we want is to take all rumors, I think they're called, which come over a subscription wire and a this rumor haul. We'll want to go and import all things, the haul structures for this, and then from here we again equip move this thing to do implement me, because before we can get this called, we'll have to actually go and make that subscription to the channel we want. So let's say we're gonna go with a simple noun poke for the controls of this application. So we can just say arbitrary things here. Command. Yeah, let's just go with debug for now. This is again the boilerplate casting. Yes, and then we want to switch on the command, and if it's debug, we want to do a thing. So I just want to be able to get this going quickly. So we're gonna hard code a all subscription for now. In talk here, we'll quickly create a channel called testing hello world. And now here we can post messages, and if we have our application listen for that, it can pick those up and work with it. So if we get debug, we want to produce so we want a list of moves and our state. Our state is not going to change. This is actually the safer way to type it because that's always correct. This might change if you add things to the subject. This whole large syntax for the quote-unquote application state is kind of jank anyway. What you should be doing is saying this, and then in all of these cases you can replace that with this and it should still work. And I say that, but to actually show it to you would be better, because I might be lying. Probably not lying. Try not to lie. 24. This. Yes, the dot there for the subject, of course. Text in that case. Called. See? That works. And this is actually readable. So just want one move. We haven't actually defined move yet. Again, more boilerplate. Move is a pair of bone and card, where a card is one of many possible things. For example, a poke card, and I'm then gonna go into Hall itself to copy these out just to make sure I get it right. We want a poke card, taking a wire, a dock, and a pair, which in Hall case is the oh right, we're not actually doing pokes. We want to be doing pairs for subscriptions, which will take a wire, a dock, which is the target, so an application on a ship, and then a subscription path. So our move will look something like pair, whole subscription. This is just an identifier for ourselves. We want to do on our ship, we want to look at Hall, and then the path. I'm gonna have to look this up again. If Hall gets paired, what does it expect? Incoming messages. Right, path to query. I'm pretty sure that's in the lib Hall. Path to... Wait, is it not? It is not. Okay. Parts path into a list coin, and then parts into a query structure. We want, I know for sure we want a circle data, and then, and I wrote this stuff and I still have to like look this over carefully and go figure. I did write a document. I could pull it up actually. Maybe I should. Urbit.org. Let me go and actually switch the stream over to a browser view. There. Oh, there it is. All interface, queries. Perfect. This is just telling us things about the structure. As a rumor appears. Can you see the jittery scrolling here? My machine is not having a good time. This is going to give examples. Hey, here, examples. Perfect. Look at this. Circle, circle name, optional, what data. Cool, perfect. I remember now. So we want testing, I think we call it. And then we want a grams, because we want just the telegrams, the messages, and then no range here. I think it defaults no range with an optional end, points noted. It doesn't say what it defaults to. I'm pretty sure it gets you like the last day's worth of messages. We'll see. Okay. Yes, so this should subscribe to Hall, which should then, before it gets a rumor, it gets a prize, because rumors are just diffs on the data you're subscribed to. The prizes are the whole batches of data themselves. This is prize Hall. And then if we actually look up what that looks like in Sir Hall, then yes, so because we're doing a circle subscription, we'll get a circle prize back. This package will contain a list of envelopes and some metadata. Envelopes are messages with message numbers. We don't actually do anything with message numbers anywhere. It's kind of jank. Like, this is part of the stuff I want to redo for new Hall, if that's ever still going to be a thing, but who knows if it will be. Okay. Whip, move this. Got all prize. Get this, not the lark. Bad habit. So if we switch back to this, copy that in, find our, oh yeah, that's under the bowl, of course. Cool, there it is. So if we send another message just for good measure, and we poke J with debug, got Hall prize, circle. Cool. So far so good. I do feel like I should be, like, this is kind of messy, I do feel like I should be annotating this more with comments. I'm already doing that with my voice, but that won't be shipped with the code. This is all fairly straightforward though. Let's just keep moving while we have some momentum going. Okay. We got a whole prize, and we are fully expecting that to be a circle prize. And then on the, we want to turn over the list of envelopes, and yeah, we should implement a function that says all message. Hey Charlie, thanks for joining us. You're right, audio should be shipped with code. Never mind the file size. It's just so much more useful when you can listen to a description of the code instead of having to look it over yourself. You know, like audiobooks, but for code, that should be a thing. I think with the pronounceables we might be able to make that happen. I don't think the market for it is very big though. Okay, we should also, like, this is fairly simple for the rumor. If we look this up, yes, just this one please. We can see that it is indeed a rumor story. We are expecting a rumor circle again, and we only care about the gram here, so we can say circle at if on our lecture. Can you imagine? Process whole message. Oh right, we only we need to check that this is a gram also. Wait, can we? What else can we get? This story. All right, there. New story. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, we won't be getting any of those because we didn't ask for statuses. We didn't ask for configuration. So we should just be getting the grams. Wait, what was this called? From the rumor. This is very redundant naming right here. So, and it's like 3-letter words, and I can't remember the names of these things. It's a source and an envelope. Okay. Yes. So we just want to process the nev from diff. There. I think that should do it. Let's see if this still compiles. Find Ness. Or is it not finding Ness? Oh yes, that should be Ness from the prize. 3-letter names. These are a bad habit. I do definitely like fuzzing around with these. I think it looks very aesthetic. But like comprehension wise, like Piz, I guess that's a prize. It's a tough habit to shake, but let's note to self, write better variable names. Okay, we're gonna try doing that from here on out. The whole rumor, yes. This. Okay, we fixed that. So if we copy in again manually, like weakling, process whole message. Yes, that's what we were gonna write. Okay, process whole message. We need to think now though, because do we want this also to output quit move this? Charlie is a big fan of doing hard type in Dojo to actually full path for members and what their type is. Oh, that's a good one, right? Because if you do the import here for Hall, and then you say rumor Hall. Oh wait, this isn't what you meant, is it? Tracking down 5 deep. Oh right, because you get to like see that deeply, but it all depends on the bunt, doesn't it? In any case, I think we want this to produce moves and state. Does it need moves? I don't think it needs to output moves, just state. Although, yeah, if we add to the query, we may want to update. If we add to the queue, we'll want to update our subscribers eventually. It's tough thinking about this with the pressure of the audience on. Okay, so let's look over our notes again. This is what we made them for. Dream of better IDE support. You and me both, Charlie. You and me both. Watch Hall channel. New URLs. Add to queue with names. Tradition. Well, right. So, okay. So we want to. Yes. To do per all message. If not URL, speech, that's message type. Do nothing. Then if it is a URL speech, deco. Yeah, so if YouTube URL get video ID build API requests. Right, so this should just be a list of moves still. Okay, so that means this should produce a move, which is going to be an YouTube API request. So then this becomes, no, not the lark, just this. And then for the rumor, which is just a single message. I feel like that can be right, but maybe it is. We'll see. That is gonna be just one of those. It'll also be a list of moves. Okay. So we want to turn this whole message into a HTTP request to the YouTube API. Let's see. So what are we getting here? We get an envelope because nev, which is just a thing with a number. Yeah, like we really only want to go into Telegram here. I think unpacking here is fine though. We get an envelope from the GAM. We want the sample, the speech. Does Urbit already have a YouTube API adapter? No, we'll be doing it live. I'm not actually planning on writing an entire YouTube API adapter. I'll just be futzing around with the JSON parsing for like simple requests. We can probably pull some of that out into a library file and like start development on it from there. If anyone's interested in taking that over, please do feel free to. I'll be publishing code for this eventually. But I'm not here to write a full-fledged API adapter. That's too much of a pain in the ass to show on live national television, you know? Gam. Yes, so if this is not a URL message, ooh, we want maybe a move, maybe not. Right. We'll patch the above functions up. Then we need to check the parse URL for YouTube things. We go into Zeus and we look up perf. Oh wait, is this it? This is it. URL with fragment. Okay, so we only care about p.url. Let's make an alias. Yes, so that's our Perl, I think. These work now, like type annotations for tistars. It should give a bit more clarity. Perl is a hard fork query. Right. I always keep like forgetting what the fuck this is about. Are you seeing this code? This is definitely on the list for whatever the standard library cleanup is gonna do. It's been a long time coming. It'll be a longer wait still, but one day. So, parsed URL. Way is a parsed URL query. Okay, so let's just look at some of these and see what is up, because that's that's a way easier way to like figure this out. We'll need to patch these though to work with the unit move. Well, some people don't like using tislas like this, like they would do this. I don't know. I think tislas is fine. Did nothing wrong. It's like 2 characters shorter. Not that it matters much, but yes. So if we have no move, if we have a move, pretty sure I can like slap a primitive against this, but and then for this one, it's just a mern, which is a turn, but the gate is expected to produce a unit, and it produces a list of things that I think you want a tisfaz, not tislas. No, Charlie, I want a tislas. It's like, fine, it works, dude. Yeah, the mern produces a list of just the items that produce a value unit. So if we take this over, there is, what is this? Find envelope. Oh, that's envelope all, of course, because I didn't import it. In practice, I'm not sure if there's a, like, I think the difference is entirely aesthetic, because if you use a tisfaz, like the spacing is bigger, and you get to also like tack on a type here, you can be much more clear and much more verbose about what it is you're actually doing. And this is of course also nice if you're like doing multi-line shit, but I see people actively avoiding tislas, even though this is like, it's a single line, it's brief, it's perfectly readable. Oh, the bottom one? No, that is a tistar, not a tisfaz. Is stream not showing that accurately? YouTube might be doing weird compression things on its end. If the font size needs to be a bit bigger, do let me know. I think we have some space for that still. Right, so we've fixed the thing. And again, find URL, find Perl. This, oh, this is finding a ring, because this is find a ring. This is from the air namespace. Midvein 64. What, here? Are you sure that's not here? The rumor hall. rumor. If it is a circle rumor, we get a rum, and then the rum is a rumor story, which, oh, that's gram, not grams, of course. Yeah, that's what got me confused. I thought we were sometimes sending multiple messages here, but I think we just send, I think we have a version of rumor that's like contains multiple rumors. Oops. Is it not copying it in? Oh, I didn't save the file, of course. Okay, that's better. Find nev-num diff. 5 nev-num rum typos. Recall. There, this compiles. So if we, I was testing right with it, right? Yes. So if we poke djay with debug, I think that worked. Right, we'll want to put in a YouTube URL here, or just a URL in general. Cool, that's what our URL structure looks like. We'll want to check for either youtube.be or youtube.com in this one. Yes, and in the okay, so in the youtube.be case, we'll want to look at the queue, which was the pork. The fully parsed URL, yeah, because that's part of the URL path. And then in the youtube.be case, we'll want to look at the query for v, as in video ID. That's straightforward enough, I think. So p.r.url. We're gonna need a bigger alias for this. URL path b.r.url, I think. b.r.b.url, and then we'll r.url parameters r.url. Fine. This is, I wanted to say this was getting really verbose, but this is actually just barely readable. Go figure. Bad habits, bad habits. So if the URL path or the YouTube, then to do get from. Oh, right. This is the, not the URL path, but it's the domain, of course. And then our real URL path would be u.q.p.url. Christ. Yeah, that structure is garbage. Okay, more there. And otherwise, it would be com, YouTube, domain. To do get from parameters. Sure, let's just test this out. YouTube and whoops. YouTube BE. We're gonna have to slightly restructure this. We don't want to branch this deeply. First deeply as this will go if we like take this to the conclusion without reordering first. Cool, that works. So this is not a YouTube URL. Domain. Show me the domain. YouTube. Oh, I see. Of course, we'll want to. If the find for this succeeds, then it's in there, regardless of whether we have www in front or not. Pretty sure it should work like this. It still doesn't count? Wait, are these... domain... RP... and host. Yes, host is... Wait, am I blind? Oh... I'm probably blind. I think we want to check this each one. Because this may not properly resolve otherwise. I would have expected it to yelp at me in a much different way. Let's just see this one more time. Together. This fail. Great. 79. Oh, did I just not... Oh, it was... I didn't see the error. I was definitely blind there. Nesfail 79. Okay, yes, so that is complaining about the type of domain, I'm pretty sure. Christ, what? If the host, or is that just RP URL? This is why I want new air to be here. I wonder if new air changes this, but I want it to be here. Part of the code I'm doing here with HTTP request is probably going to be rewritten once new air lands, and I will probably not stream anything that has to do with writing JavaScript that reaches out to this application over HTTP, because that is going to take me like 5 days to figure out. I know Landscape does it. There's probably code I can scavenge there, but kind of a pain. Okay, where were we? Let's see if the host, which is in the heart, just the R of heart, and heart is the P. Yes, okay, so then we want to head out early. Just in case this is still nest failing, I'm gonna print the type for this. $75. Oh, whoops. Don't put notes in the middle of your code. $75 mint cove. Oh, now we're getting into nasty territory. Oh no, I want to check just ahead of this, of course. Does each have faces? That's probably in Hoon. Oh no, it has just a head and then a face for the thing. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. I think this is it, but I won't hold my breath. Mint Cove again. Repeat the URL. Let's just see. Yes, that's what I'm checking for. What is it? Do I just do this instead? Pretty sure that's supposed to be a type check for it to actually work, but what is even that P? Must fail 82. Oh, this looks like progress. Oh no, that's the same thing. Because then this is... Oh, yeah, that's still... So this needs to be the type check. But then what does it mean coving about? I'm gonna step away for a quick second, think about this. More water. Stay hydrated. I suggest you do the same. We're gonna be right back. Okay, we're back. I just realized that I don't need to figure this out because TalkBot already does this, which is the reason I had it open here. It checks the host of the thing, but then so it is doing the type check here. This is very useful, I think. Or is it? Look at these names. This is not useful at all. Thumbs up on the music selection. Thank you, Nimpan. I figured I'd go with some chill background ambience for this. Wait, okay. I know this worked, so we're just gonna copy this over and see what happens. Out. Put this in. Wait a second. Did I make a silly mistake? Perf. Yes, this should be a perf. If I just try with that instead, I wonder what happens. Have I been looking at the wrong thing the entire time? Oh. Wait. Perf? Right here. How is this nest failing? Oh, the URL. Oh, I see, I see. No, it's just the same thing. We looked this up. Because your perf is a thing with a fragment, like whatever that is. I'm just gonna do it this way, though. This is the worst. I would rather not spend the majority of the time of stream on this particular part of the code base. It would be ridiculous. So, right, do the check again. Hosts. Very. I don't know what the type is here. Supposed to be. Pull this up. Let's pull this up. Perf. PPP, all from the heart. Heart. And then. Wait. Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh no, not all from the heart. These are the. This is such a pain. Keeping this straight in your head. Just going blind and believe that we did the right thing in the past. So this is gnarly code, but we can rewrite this to make it better. Alright, if it starts with the thing. It has. And this is silly. This is kind of silly, I'll admit. Yeah, so if the find actually finds the watch, then it's good. We can't. We have the thing. Query. YouTube. Then, yeah, we take the first element from. Right. Yes, and so For what? Because you can also link to like playlists and things, but those don't actually have a video URL. So this is just making sure we can actually... What is this doing? P. Oops, not here. Wait, is a list. Oh, I see. You can actually search this for the keys. Are HTTP requests with duplicate keys valid? That'd be weird. I guess that's what this is trying to support, but okay, so let's just test this out. Video ID right there. Not gonna bother with moves just yet. And here we also have a video ID. Also not gonna bother with moves just yet. How did I ever figure this out? Syntax error 79. That does look like a syntax error indeed. A gap where you want an ace. 9 hosts. Right, so it's not finding this. Let's painfully walk through this again. P is the pearl, and then from that we take the P, which is the heart. And then... Oh, wait a second. Do I need to type check earlier? Or no, I don't need to type check earlier. It's getting at that for sure. Fine. URL. So we take P, and from that we take P, and then we go for R. It's right there. It's in the type. What is it nest failing on? I'm not casting this or anything, am I? Whoops. What does it have for host here? That looks right. Why is that nest failing? Why? Oh, why is that nest failing? It worked here, didn't it? It worked here. That is so weird. Or like nest failing finding. I should not. Pearl. Was it birth pearl? Right. So the pearl is P of the birth. Oh, we should do that way. P of the pearl is the heart. heart. We have host. So that should be r.heart. Pretty sure that's equivalent. But this should still give the same error. Yeah. Two hosts. It's just getting the thing, man. Come on. Chat, help me out here. What am I not seeing? What am I not seeing? This is thoroughly stupid. Must fail still. No, I get that I have to return a unit, but I'm just like doing SIGs. Like this too was a SIG. Empty unit. Everywhere I've just been putting empty units. But it's find erroring at me for some reason. It might also be a red flag though. Like I've seen things relating to Tistar get put into stack traces, even though they're not actually relevant. But like they are right before the very last line here. No, that's just in the SIG PAM. Those are just printfs. Let's see if we're getting that value out correctly. This should work. With sanity check. Okay, sanity check failing. URL. Perf. Be that URL. Oh, I was. Christ. I think that was it. Let's just see this. So I still have the P there from getting to the Perl, but I want the perf instead to like more closely mimic Toplet's code. See, that compiles. And if we post the thing now, we can see that the host, yes. Oh, okay. Okay, that took me way too long. Let's see. Probably want this. Always the tiny things. Always the tiny things. Still min coving though. On host. See what it has to say. Same thing that we ran into with our own code. That is the same thing we ran into with our own code. Should be equivalent. Yeah, it's... In Cove. Like, I could look that up in Hoon, but it's not gonna tell me anything useful. Probably this. Like it doesn't fit. Don't make me look at that. So it's forking between. It's an each. How hard can it be? Two. Like it's going on this thing specifically. See, I have getting real sidetracked here for just a second. I sent a stream update, or like a stream announcement into Urbit help, but the message ended up not going through because Dob saw it needs to be bonked. Okay, there we go. This is stupid. In code. On the house here. Is this it? Is this the end of the line for me? I'm being paid to develop Hoon and I can't figure this out. Sure. Classic. So, in this case, we probably want to type score. Yes, this just like works. Why isn't it working in the host case here? Very troubling indeed. Very troubling and mildly embarrassing, perhaps. But it's something stupid again. I'm just throwing all the debug statements at this. Still checks out. Is there anything obviously wrong with this? There isn't, right? I'm just type checking the head of the host, which is an each. A normal thing to do. Maybe the... Nope. Definitely not. That would have been super weird. You know what? Let's just get back to this. That's mildly disappointing. But we can just square this away for the time being. Yeah, same. I don't know exactly what it means either. Like, you sometimes see mint something errors when you're doing like what lus or what hap, and you're trying to tackle a case that cannot ever occur. That kind of stuff. But it's yes, okay. So we continue on. This is gonna be question mark for now. Yes, so the URL makes a request. You know what we can do? We can actually just hard code this for now, where we say yes, we're going to fetch video details with a video ID, which we will put in any old thing. There. And now we can pretend it works and move on with that. So, fetch video details. We'll take ID. Video ID, get it? Produce a move. Here we'll want a hiss. I think there was a lib for this. That doesn't include the hiss itself, but this one.
You've eliminated any interruptions or distractions.
So the hiss wire, of course, for reference. User error. Mark. This is also not the prettiest interface. I do hope we're changing this at least. I've also never actually used the HTTP library file you see here. I've always been doing request building manually, like a dummy. But apparently this exists, so we can try and see if this works. Let's see, what do we want again? For note taking. A move, always has the bone. And then YouTube video. I think you want this most of the time.
The mysterious problem of how the brain learns.
Actually, we're gonna get Jason back. And yeah, so what I like doing instead for these ones, where there's like a bunch of small items and just one big one, is go like so. In this case, you could probably string a bunch of cold cats together. I like this a little bit better. I need to not forget to import that. just this. And then this will be a view request. It's a domain list chord. Let me see what the actual. I think so. Google APIs. View. So that's our domain. Then our endpoint is going to be YouTube. YouTube v3 videos. We want this to be a GET request. I don't really care about the headers here, I don't think. Where? That was just a list of pairs, right? Yes. So for I have a URL right here, which I should be able to show on screen. Here, if we make this request, then we'll get back a description of the thing with all kinds of details in it. And this will include our API key, which is fine to show on stream because I restricted it to just be usable from my home IP address. Oops. So we'll hardcode this for now. And then of course the ID of the video, which will be, this obviously will not compile like this. This here, close that, close that. That's only a little bit ugly. Terminal, try and copy this in, see what kind of weird stuff we run into now. Find hiss error, of course. Wait, where is it? Oh, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I see. Yes, that should have a send in front of it. Fail 122 spell. So this is not a move, eh? Didn't look at this carefully enough. This wire unit user error. Is it? Oh no, I see. We have a mark. And then we want to say that this is a hiss. That didn't work. If it's the same error message, it sometimes just doesn't print it, eats it instead, and as you can see, it doesn't call prep. So this should definitely be a hiss right here. Must fail anything more special? No. User. Maybe that is it. Oh, that is it. Cool. So if we run this now, it will probably yell at us. I wonder if it still has the subscription open. Yeah. Cool. So for every message we send, it will just make the same hard-coded request. That's fine for now. We can at least continue with this. Oh, the BRB overlay is still up? That's not good. Thank you for mentioning, Nimpan. Okay. So Gall is yelling at us that it's getting a sigh, but there's no arm for us to receive that with. So after we've called this, we've sent out a move that should get us a response. Sigh is an error result. You can see the path there, so it's looking at the marked JSON and the specific wire YouTube vid. We can leave this out probably, but this is nice and verbose about it. Wire JSON. Move this, type of this rather, and if we copy that and run it again, we should probably see a whole bunch of error messages. Cool. 141 nest fail. What now? Move. Yes, not like, but the actual type. Okay. Yeah. There, that's a whole bunch of JSON. Pull this up. We can probably see this is an array of things. Oh. Yeah, that's an object with like page info kind and then items for every result we asked about. So if we pull up the browser again, we can more easily look at what it's actually returning. We don't care about all of that. We just want to parse out. Want to parse out the title from the snippet, and yeah, just the title from the snippet and the duration from the content details. Something we didn't do yet is keep track of the submitter pet p. So the whole message here should really actually add. Yeah, it should add a thing to state, so it doesn't produce just a unit move after all. How about we keep moving and we save this for later instead? Okay, so a bunch of JSON. We're gonna need to use the JSON reparser to do anything useful with this, and this is gonna be a bunch of trial and error again, maybe. I haven't used these in a little while. JSON, parse JSON. Yeah. So, right, what do we want to do for these? We want to store the resulting state. Parse video details. So we want to produce a title, duration, yeah, that's it. So let's see, I want to import the JSON here. There's also the JSON soft, which is below this, I think, or maybe it's not, which produces units instead of just crashing if the parsing doesn't work, but I'm fine with it just crashing, since, well, unhappy paths are a pain to walk down. If you polish this up, of course you want to do proper error handling, but not that concerned with it here. Yes, this is an object with a bunch of things in it. List object. Wait, is this? Are these the ones I've been thinking of? Let's see, let's look at some existing code. Oh, it's djay, not djson. That makes sense. Because this is parse JSON, and this is the JSON reparser, which is we want to work with the JSON noun to get useful data out. You can see this one has even worse names than the previous one. Okay. Parse video details. Tuple. No, we want object first. Object is front or object is tuple. Code examples again. Wait, no, tuple is correct. The front is like doing the sends basically. But we don't want just one or the other, we want both. And in our case, like, we ultimately want to call this with the John. In our case, object is tuple, which is gonna take a list of things to look for and ways to parse them. So in items, right, so let's restructure this slightly. In items, we want to parse as following. I mean, that is an array, but we only want the first one. You can always this, maybe? Good question, we'll see. There's probably a better way to do that. Yep, I'm gonna array as tuple, array as list. I just want the first item, but yeah, and like once you're in the reparser, I don't think you can very easily be like, oh hey, is this Well, is this an array or whatever? But you have to stick with these. You can probably write your own like reparsing function and jam that in between. Always feels so arcane though. I think we should be able to make do with what's already in the standard library. So this can just be an array of things, array of bots again, where we want from snippet we want something, and from content details we also want something. Right, you can actually, so tis mic is the inverse of tis faz, but tis faz supports just faces, but tis mic doesn't actually yet support just faces. You always need the type also. I don't think that's been fixed yet. It's kind of annoying. It means we'll have to go with one of these. And then after we decide on faces to use here, wait, no, that doesn't work either. This one, I think. So for the snippet, we want to look for the title and parse that as a chord. Oops. There was an easy one for that, I forgot what it's called. Oh, parse key. Yeah, pretty thanks. Yes, string is chord. So oh, that's actually really short. We can probably put that in for the content details. Probably the same. Duration, which is also a string, but we'll want to do something with this. So we cook it. Wait, is that how we call it? Oh, oh, it's parse string. There's a thing for that. Cool. With a rule. You can see tis haps here being a bit of a bad habit, maybe. I like how it flows down, but there's definitely more elegant ways to structure this, I feel. Okay, let's clean this up just a little bit. Also, these OTs are going to need like SIGs at the end because they take a list of things to look for. Snip is just this. Yes, and so this one might as well be this. Okay, so let's take a look. We're gonna be writing parsers live. This is gonna be hilarious. The duration, as you can see, is in some arcane format. It's actually not that arcane, because if you look in the docs, the duration is in ISO 8601, and so that goes like period and then these things. In our case, we'll only be looking at hours, minutes, and seconds, but just we'll want to parse that out into an actual DR. So let's see. There were structures for time. Wait, is that in Hoon then? No, they had like these. Do they have this for time also, or no? I don't think so then. Must have been confusing it with this. Parsed time. Oh, parsed time, there it is. Cool. Time atom. Yeah, cool. I think only we'll want to eventually that, I think. It'll be such a pain to debug if I don't get this right away. Yeah. Days, hours, minutes, seconds, and then precision. Okay, so we're looking for something that starts with a P, and then let's just keep it simple for our case and do hours, some number, minutes, some number, seconds, some number. We're gonna chain some things together. Actually, no. We wanna prefix. Just be. Like, we have jest and just. Just is for characters, jest is for chords, but they're essentially identical. Like, you can use jest for single characters just fine. I think just is deprecated for that reason, but I don't think we ever took it out. Like, it says XX deprecated, I believe. Prefix. Writing parsers prettily is actually kind of not like this. How do you even structure this? So actually we have days and hours already in there, so we could easily support that. You don't want dem, because this is the Hoon style thing with the number separators. These are all on AG, right? Heck. I keep forgetting this is. Didn't I touch these recently? And try this out. Switch to view again. Scan 1, 2, 3. AG. Yes, and if we do 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. That's the one we want. Done. Just days, hours, done. Minutes, seconds. Right, the dark again. Minutes, seconds. And then end with a sig for the precision. Gives a tarp. Of course, ISO, what was it? Or ISO 8601, duration. Excluding months, years. I think that's it. I bet we're in for a mighty nest fail though on this. Find. Right, because it comes from format. Now I'm gonna step away again for a quick second, take some time to stretch, the usual. I'll be right back. Okay, let's see what we have here. Find done. Right, I said that came from AG, which is probably short for like Atom something, Atom General. Oh. Find where? Find where? 152. Oh, these that needs to have a trailing. And from content details, we'll also want the duration, which will parse as such. Cool. Wait, that's it? That works? Amazing. Actually, kind of surprised it was that easy. So let's see that result for the thing we put in by default. Like our hard-coded request. A syntax error on the parsing key duration 1, 2. So I want to put a printf in here to show me the string that it's actually trying to parse, but because this is all wrapped up in the djs functions, I can't really easily get in there. I'd probably want to do is look up Sue here and be like so. Okay. There's probably a better way to do this that I'm just not thinking of. This is hard, dude. Sam's the parsing thing, and so now we can be like, print me the on. Like, it should have a printf in here by default, to be honest. So you actually know. We don't use sig bars as often as we need to, I feel. Like big stack traces with cryptic error messages at the end. At least give me some info in between. 7. Right, this is probably all. Is wonk. When this product from Edge. If we leave this out. Alright, that's just saying I'll give me the type of the default result for this. Actually, no, we need this. Cool, and if we send a message now, BT3 T, what does that stand for? Oh, that's probably for time, isn't it? Let me bring you the use a time designator that precedes the time component of the representation. Right, and we might also be missing the D from this, so you'll want these to be optional. For I think all of these we'll want to say pose, which is either do this or E0, so always parse to the value 0. Yeah, we'll always have the time prefix for this, but Right, I think you want it like this to be at least somewhat accurate according to the standard. Yeah, we'll need to take that with it for the cell to be built correctly, I think. Yeah, that's on the... Certainly hope this is not it, but this has given me trouble in the past, so let's just try and look for it more carefully if that doesn't work. Nope, same error. Okay, how about we just take out the A and say prefix BT. This easy 0. I don't want to fall for this. Probably not the issue then, but pretty sure this is supposed to work. There. And you take out the casts. I hope it's doing fine still. Yeah, because the farm structure was just taking plain atoms, I think. Yeah, cool. So if we try with this, PT 43. Mm-hmm. I wonder what specifically this is failing at. It's gonna be way slow actually, but this is way slow. Wow. But then my machine is struggling just streaming, let alone like streaming and pasting things into Urbit. Okay, so we can scan PT H1 2S3. Sure. That works. So then if you take out the power designator, works. And we were getting PT and then just straight 43. Oh, it's the other way around. It's 43 minutes and then 2 seconds in this case. So these P fixes need to be S fixes. That should do the trick. Must fail. Different? Fix, take. Hard second rule. Will you write those like this? Perhaps you do. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Yep, that's it. Hey, there it is. This town needs guns, and that's a full album, so that lasts you 43 minutes and 41 seconds. Neat. Okay. So that gives us a result which we can add into state. Let's look at state again. The queue is a list of items. Playlist is a list of items. Item is a name, a duration, and a submitter. Let's pause on that one. Oh, and of course we also need to store the ID here. This is also something I'm a bit conflicted about, like saying chord versus pat-t. Using pat-t makes it more obvious that it's like an atom, but that's not information that's that valuable. Chord is like nice and readable and very obvious about. I was gonna say obvious about what it is, but what the fuck is a chord? Call it a string and then we'll know, but a chord? Nobody knows. Yeah, that's the whole thing. There's probably also a special name for this, so like there's some inconsistency there if you use these this way. Who knows? Okay. We want to add an item to the queue. So once we have a result, we can say queue, and there's a special queue structure. It's hard to use. There have been issues filed about this. I'd really rather just go with a list I can pick things off of. So let's just weld onto the end of the queue. No, this is going to be single item list. In it, the ID from wire, which we should do the placeholder.res and the duration.res. I think that's the zip. There is some special syntax you can like do for this if you want to. Like, see, this is a list with just that item. But if I do this, I wonder if I can still like, instead of doing x.a, y.a, like so, I maybe want to do like this. Definitely works, but I don't know if that combines well with the sugar. Of course it does. That actually makes total sense that it works. No, that's not what we did. Yes. And we want to put the ID in. So we want wire to be just an atom. Like, if you're really tight about things, you just say that instead. Maybe we'll just do that. And then we can be like, it is wire. And when we make the request, in YouTube vid, we want this. It's a chord and not like a pat-ta or pat-tas, which are more strict versions of chords. But like it generally still accepts that and works just fine. To be clear, in case it wasn't obvious, you shouldn't be watching this video for best practices of Palfun development per se. Like, once I'm done with this, there's definitely a lot of cleaning up to do. There are no comments in this code at all. This is no bueno. This would not get merged as is. Well, it should be merged. It's a specific user space application, but you get my point. So we added the video ID to the wire. Let's just stay consistent and say video ID here too. There. That should work. It should not work, apparently. That wire. Oh, because yeah, so this is why this is actually not always a good idea. Is because res does not contain a vid. And so if res is your subject, like your entire subject, you won't find a vid in there. .43 still. It does seem to not be an item. Title. Oh, the title was a tape, but we... Yeah. Clean this up in the meantime, so please be it. Yep, there is prep call. So let's go back up, see that this works. Rename this to something that's actually like watch, and then for debug itself, we'll just print I want to print the queue. And let's just print the red playlist also while we're at it. Nope, this thing. Cute. Yeah, that is not a queue at all. Quick way. Okay, and if we djay debug now, we'll see that state is empty. We still clear it on every reload. Send the thing, it does its request. Oh, malform path. Oh, so it does complain. Interesting. What do we do about this? We can spot path T vid. There's probably characters in there I didn't like. I'm not sure how a T conversion to TAS and stuff works, but we'll see. Could probably vid to be Slav. I'm pretty sure that's the insert one. Let's make sure that doesn't get like wrangled too badly. Change them to quit. That maybe means their subscription died. And I think it died because we crashed too hard when we got a subscription event. Like, this is the part about Gall that's kind of weird, is that it takes your subscriptions when you crash even, which may be unexpected, which requires you, I mean, you need to do this anyway. You need to implement a quit arm you need to implement a quit arm to deal with subscription only. Is the music still like overpowering me or not? I feel like it's gotten louder, but that may just be me. DJ. Watch. Alright, it's doing all of those. It's doing that for all the messages now. We should definitely have deduplication in here. There, that still seems like what we put in. Perfect. Yeah, I bet it was the capitals messing it up. Cool, good. Thanks for the feedback, Infun. Let's see, where were we? Scanning the thing properly. Oh yeah, right. And this should have been put in state. Yep, there it is. We'll want to maybe make it a map instead for deduplication. You can also just say known as set patties. I think that's fine. Let's do that for now. So if we get a fetch video detail, right? This should check here, but given that we've stuck this out, kind of. Yes, so you'll want to find your video ID. This. As in known this video ID. We just return the empty move. Eating this thing. They're folding. See this little space we might want. Details. Yeah, so that should keep things from being into the queue duplicately. Yes, and so there's just the one song. It did still do the request? Did it? Yeah, it's in there twice now. Oh, we never put anything into the... Of course. Of course it's not gonna have it if we don't ever add it. Yes, so this still needs to... Okay. Yeah, I think this makes sense. Yes, we will want to known, put by known the video ID. here. These are gonna have to, this one is gonna have to get a little bit more elaborate. Not sure we care about that per se, but there may be cases where you want to like build a thing up from the history of your chat channel, so we'll keep that in. Let's do the easier one first. Pin head update. Alright, this one doesn't. So patch. Process. We want to, like, we're gonna get a move and we're gonna update this message. Pretty sure we want to loop over this manually, and then eventually write this a little. Is that better? Not sure if that's much better. I wanted to do like so. It's okay. Probably not way to write that. Like, I feel the way we had it just now with like the bunch of really short lines underneath each other, lines can be too short. Like if they're that short, it looks kind of weird to not squish it down into one line. This line right here is like barely 30 characters, so I think that's still safe. We'll want to keep a list move. Make sure people don't yell at me for not casting my traps. Like the real way to do this is probably to say, oh, process whole message just gets you the video ID, and then you turn it into, oh, that would also make the parsing of the details more elegant. So if you make process whole message produce just the video ID, then you can turn over a list of those instead. Turn those into a single request that requests all of them at once, which is less strenuous on the YouTube API. Not that they don't have the servers to respond to all those requests, but it's definitely tidier. Do we want to spend time clearing it up? How far are we even? From URLs, yes, we're doing that now. We're not playing, we're not querying. What time is it? 20 PM? Let's keep going a bit. I want to tidy this up with this. I feel like I just left in the middle of something else, and I'm gonna come back and like find hella errors over there and not know what I was doing. Just let's do it. Get video from message. Right, and that would make this, like the non checking, also easier. So this is just gonna be vid for the time being. All this stuff still left to figure out. Right, so then we can be like viz, as in videos. Right, I was gonna be better about naming video IDs. Is right, maybe this is better, we'll see. turn. Were we turning over previously? Is that far back? Yikes. Let's do this the proper way. And just at the all structure. Not the query, but the prize. Right, the mess. Get video from message. And now that we have the video IDs, we can right, we want to request video details. Batch request is more clear, I think. Video details for. Oh no, we want to modify this first. Video ideas, because we don't want anything that is in the set to be in there. So we're gonna skip maybe short one. We're gonna skip in video IDs every item that we has in known. I think that works. Hopefully it works. Because right, normally you just call this with the element, but now the skip will do that for us for every item, and everything that returns true, it will turn, it will throw out of the list. So we'll end up with just a list of video IDs we've never had in view before. Depending on what functionality you want, you may want to still add them to the list, but you should be able to look them up at. Which is probably another reason that we want to have a map in our state for these. So once we have these, we want a list of moves, which is actually just one move. Request video details, which should have videos in the name, perhaps. This. No, we want to add all of them, so we'll gas in known the video IDs. Gas adds a list to a set. Like inputs all the items in the list into the set, deduplicating. And then for the rumor case, get video from message. It's gonna be just right. That's still gonna be a unit. Alright, if this is empty at all, if it's empty, we just don't bother with anything at all. And same for this case. If you don't have a video ID, then we do nothing. And if we do have one, then we'll basically want to do the same thing. Request video details. Does that work? No, you can't do. I was gonna do this as like, but you just put the brackets around it and that works. This non, put in non video ID. I think that's it. Take a list of chords. Does that even work? Try that out. We want this addition to the one that was already in the request. Maybe we can comma separate that. Yep, we have now item 0 and item 1. Perfect. The ID is also in there, which we should use instead of putting it in the wire. We'll take that out. And then say here that we also want ID and add ID. Alright, that's in the snippet. That's kind of awkward. We'll get back to this. Yes, so we'll want to video IDs. There's probably something fancy I can do here. Yeah, we don't need to crib, I think. Like, there's probably some fancy, like there's a part of the standard library that allows you to do bitwise operations and concatenation, that kind of stuff. There might be something fun I can do with that, but I'm not sure. So we're just gonna roll over video IDs instead and turn them into a comma separated string of IDs. So get an ID. No. I want to do the thing. If we haven't on yet, we just produce ID because we don't want a comma. And then I keep forgetting this and I keep messing it up and it keeps biting me in the ass. So let's verify that I'm actually doing the correct thing. 1, 2. That's so we can actually read it. Oh, right, because if you do like so, if you do AABB and right, it was trying to print a weird string because I still had the cast to pet t there. We'll just want to cast this to UX. Yes, weird strings crashing the dojo is a bug for sure. But if you do AABB, then it's BBAA in the output, but that's because you look at the ordering of these, you can see that they're like flipped around endian wars, Don't even talk to me about it. Give me so much trouble. So this works samely. Yeah, I just want to do this a simple way to keep it readable. All, comma. And then we have ids. Okay, let's see. We're making the requests now. These should be fine. Now we need to deal with psi of this. Yes, here's the ambiguity again between video and videos. I want this to be a list of the title and chord. I wonder if this works if you just enter that twice, but then, because like my issue is if I add that here, or like in front of this, I guess, then you would see it become this instead, which is not what we want. Like if we do it like this, they like stay on the same cell level, so to speak. So I wonder, I don't imagine it as trouble entering into the same key like twice. But who knows? We'll see. Was an ugly hack. Good thing. We want Sue back there. Is that it? Would also allow us to do this thing again. Res, yes. No more this, no more this. We do want to see that output though. Now we can spend, now we can spend 5 minutes working through all the errors we put in. Syntax errors for one. Right, because is video from message. Oh yeah, that doesn't type match. Unit chord. And then this, of course, needs to be the unit value. Hello? Is that the same error or what? What's it complaining about? $79. Oh, I see. That was dumb. This does look better in this case, because it lines up nicely. get video from message. That ain't right. Get good. Fuse loop. Oh boy, now you're in for a fun one. So if you're doing strange things with lists, you'll see fuse loops sometimes. Yeah, so skip is definitely a strange thing to do with a list. Skip takes a list and a gate. That should be a list of chords. Maybe casting, like sometimes casting just like fixes those up real easily. And this is one of those cases. Cool. 160. Find ID. And, oh, because the res is a list, of course. So just this now, which is actually kind of nice. I think that's fine. So, is it on check? Maybe on check. Probably still good practice to cast this. Chord. I might still complain. Let's do this instead. Auras are weird like that. You'd think, oh, they're just atoms that should just like work, but the auras, like it's very useful that happens most of the time, but in these specific cases, like 0 is a pet UD instead of a raw UD, and then going from pet UD to pet T is like too big a conversion for it to make. Nest fail, request video detail. We're trying to choose a list of moves. Should be this. Yeah, because it's just one move. Nest fail. 168. There again? Oh, here. Yes, we don't need to snag the first one anymore. Let's see, is there anything else we missed here? I don't think so. Oh, no, that's it. Perfect. So, if we... this... J... debug, like the state here got cleared. AP lame. Lame. Oh, of course, we took that out. Try this again. Be lame. Is that a parsing failure? looks like it. Do these have the equivalent of an easy? This stuff's actually kind of painful to work with, if you ask me. I think it might be tripping over this. Let's try the alternative out. Key ID. ID not on. Oh. Check the. Yeah, it is definitely the string. Oh, it's not under snippet, of course. That makes this so much easier already. It's like on the top level of the return JSON structure, like for each item. So we can just access it like that without diving into snippet or console. Called. There, cool. And that is properly stored in state. Perfect. That's pretty good. Okay, so that takes care of this still. Yeah, so what we want to do now is we want to make sure these things get rotated through on a timer, and that you can actually query for what's currently playing. That will jiggle our state around a little bit. You might want to reconsider the way we've structured this. Because what we want to do is we want to add things to the queue and then pop from it into currently playing, and then put them back into the playlist afterwards. And if nothing is in the queue, we just take things randomly from the playlist. Good for that. If you like, we don't actually need to have a map from video ID to details, because we don't ever have a reason to access by video ID specifically. Oh, we do in the case, of course, where we want to like re-add, like put a thing, bump a thing to the top of the playlist or the top of the queue, whenever it gets added. Yeah, we're probably not doing enough to keep the state sane. Let's sketch something out a bit. I'm afraid I might have to wrestle with all the code I just wrote, transform it to support the new state, but it can't be that bad. So what if we did a thing where we had a videos of map, or which is a video ID, which you may want an alias for, like the details, roughly this, and you a queue, which was a list of IDs, and a playlist, which is a list of IDs. And then you can just look them up as needed. We'll definitely also want to store a next song thing for timer so that, do we ever want to cancel the timer? I'm not sure if we ever want to cancel the timer, but we do want to know if something is currently playing. Of course, you only want to know that for the very first song that gets added, because after that it will just spinning the playlist, so you can go on the length of these boys instead of timer specifically. Yeah, I think this is clearer. This is very verbose. Also fine. Video. Call this a library, well, library instead. Actually, no, the library is just the videos. Getting a random item from the map is going to be kind of funky because you have to turn it into a list every time and like get at a random index. But I think this is actually fine. At least it gives us less state to keep track of. Here. And then we need to look at where we update our state, which we did these two whenever we got the diffs. Yeah, and so we don't want to put it in yet because we don't have details. Yeah, we want to pass on this, making sure to keep the longest branches the least indented. For this, we also don't want to do anything yet. Instead, we'll want to do that when we actually get that data from the API. So we have a result here, and videos. I think we can just say guess by videos. Actually, just guess by videos res, because it takes the first item as the key, and here a D is the first item. Like the head of the item in a list you're passing. So videos, and then yes, we'll want to update queue conditionally as by, oh right, I want to say videos as by videos, like something like this. this. So what we can do is be like and then bunt the queue. With some structures this doesn't work, but I think for lists this should be totally fine. Bunting it would give you a type whose default is the list with all the items that are like in this queue at the time of calling. That's gonna produce something like the queue, which is nearly redundant if you call out to this by saying I think this is what we want, but add it to the top though. Do we want to take from the top or put onto the top? Let's just do it like we did before. Which is still ugly, and I'm thinking more and more that we should use a special queue structure for this, but let's see if this bites me in the ass later on. That updates the queue, but only if display videos ID and ID using simpler, smaller names, quote-unquote lapidary naming for short snippets like these. Probably fine. At least it was in the previous style guide. I'm not sure what the current style guide says about it. Let's see. Videos. I'm losing my train of thought here. We're updating the queue with things that weren't previously in it. We're updating the video library with all the new ones. IDs shouldn't collide. If they do, that's fine. We already checked previously anyway. Wait, did we check the ID previously? Right, so we can just filter out here, potential. Let's leave this as is for now. This shouldn't give us any trouble. Losing my train of thought again. I might have to end this soon, but let's get this working before we do. Right, we were updating state to support this. Sure, let's just see if this compiles. And item. We took that out. Cool. No, we also do not have any more. Alright, so this is where we were skipping it, so we want to has by videos. See, this could definitely do with comments. I'll return to this tomorrow and be like, what even is this code doing? 157, a nest fail. Roll over the queue. I want to roll over res instead. $162 still. Yeah, we already updated the queue, so do like that. Like this gets these get updated in the subject which this refers to. So these changes are included here. Playlist we did indeed take out. Cool, there. Cool. That compiles. So what we want to do now is we want to do timer work. There is a wait move we can do for that. There's just a wire and a DA, I'm pretty sure. Will yell at us if that's incorrect. To set a timer for to wake our application at a specific date. So once the first item gets added to the queue, we want to kick a timer for its duration, and then after when that gets called, we want to remove the item from the queue and present the next one. Meaning that we should write some to-dos to stop that out before we forget to do like move item from top of queue list, set new timer. And we'll want to maybe, if the queue's empty, take a random thing from the library instead. And then, what do we say when the queue is empty but the first thing gets added? So that is in the SCI here. Update the queue. Sorry, empty. Queue was empty, and this reads kind of weirdly, so we'll just turn this into a whoops, wait, tis Faz also. If it was empty, right, we'll just count the... Yeah, so what we want to do is, for our queue structure, say queue is currently playing. Also, I lied about it being empty. We'll... the title of this, by the way. This is not doing us any good right now. Where is it? Or was I looking? I'm confusing myself now. Yes. So if the queue... I'm gonna scroll this down further because otherwise my mic is kind of in the way. So if this was empty and the videos was empty, we actually care more about the videos, or exclusively about the videos. So if we were idle, that's the one, which we definitely were if white by videos was 0. So if we had 0 items in our map. If that was idle, then we want to still do this, but if queue is still empty, then we will want to not produce any moves. Otherwise, we'll want to produce a single move that is very simply wait. What do we call this for reference? We'll get called with wake current. Wake next. We'll play next when we get called with this. Add to now the time of the thing at the top of the right, and we'll have to pull it out of videos. That's kind of meh. It doesn't feel very satisfying. Got by videos. Yeah, that's definitely a drawback of this. Of like doing this, structuring the state this way. But ultimately, it's fine. Like, this isn't too bad. So that sets the timer in that specific case, and then from that point onward, we'll get called periodically at wake next, which takes a wire and nothing, very explicitly. Move this. Yeah, this is nearing the bottom of my screen. That's not very comfortable. Next one, to up from queue and set next timer. Okay, so what we should do is no, we don't need to take that. We'll see how we can generalize this after writing it. If there is still a queue, then videos idle queue. Right, we'll always want to set a next timer. Internet Funhouse. How come the code is so terse? You mean with the terrible variable naming? That's just a bad habit of mine. I need to do better. Like, you're completely right. I need to do better about good naming. for some reason I feel really good writing like terse Hoon code. There's probably many ways I can make this cleaner. I've just been trying to get the logic out onto the code before it left my head, so... Is there anything in particular that you're either having trouble understanding or just want more clarification on? I'll be able to walk through some sections of this. Right. Oh, I forgot. Just storing just the timer is not enough. Oh wait, no, the video ID is in there. That's actually plenty. I was gonna say we don't... Oh, no, it's not plenty because in the... we're playing from the library. Then we won't have anything in the queue. So here we see do nothing, and in the other case, and this now playing becomes that. We might want to pop from queue here already. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, I see. You don't have any experience with Hoon. Okay. No, that makes sense. This does definitely look very, very esoteric, very yeah, terse, I suppose. If you're not familiar with the code, basically, how do I justify this well? I probably shouldn't try justifying this on livestream. Who knows what kind of garbage may come out of my mouth. I will say it definitely takes some getting used to, but the way we have like runes, like these little symbols in place of keywords, does oddly enough make the code easier to read once you're familiar with them. You'll see like the kind of structure they give to your code where it like flows very, very downwardly and always comes back to like the base indentation, even if you're doing something like in one of these branches. Like the syntax does a lot of work to make sure you don't ever need to go over the 80 or even the 50 character line length. And the symbols, because they aren't words you pronounce in your head, though you could pronounce these like tisfaz and tisdot, etc. Like in my mind, having symbols is kind of like a shortcut for associating with a concept, whereas if I read a word, I have to actually read the word first and then parse that into the concept, like much less abstractly than happens for symbols. I personally really liked it. Everyone who's tried learning it really likes it, or ends up liking it. Most people, at least. Should maybe not speak for everyone, but definitely, personally, definitely a big fan of Hoon. It has some misgivings, but it's actively being worked on still. Okay, where were we? We're updating, now playing with the thing. Yes, that makes sense. Yeah, we should pop off the queue here. Q. Just so the logic is more in line with what we do in the wake. So maybe we can generalize this eventually. Pop the queue. Yes, this makes sense. And then next time, if we have a queue, we get the thing. want to make sure that here plain ID is a video ID, and if we have a queue, we take it from. Oh, I see what I want to do. I want to do this one. ID. I wonder if this takes cast. I'm not sure though. Queue. So we in the head of the result to next ID, and then update queue with the tail of the result, which means we want us to leave that in. Q I.Q T.Q. This is equivalent to just writing Q. It's probably better to write it out like this because you're like very explicit about what the like which one is the head and which one is the tail. In any case, if we don't have anything in the queue, then instead we want to do find random from videos and play that instead. To do subscribers, which we haven't even looked at yet. We're just gonna grab the very first one from the library for now. Tap by videos, video ID. Is that what we called it? Oh no, you just want the. Oh yeah. So if you tap a map, meaning you listify it, it gives you a head of P, which is the key, and a tail of Q, which is the value. So we want the P here for the video ID. I'll take a quick couple-minute break again. Get some more water, feeling parched, and then we'll at least wrap up this functionality. And I think I might call it a day after that, but we'll see. Maybe we'll get some more momentum in. In any case, I'll be right back. And we're back. Would you consider doing an intro to Urbit stream? An intro to Hoon? I'm not an educator. I'm not an educator. I'm not a teacher. I'm not good at. Like, I can explain the way I understand Hoon personally, but I'm not sure if that's a good foundational understanding of the language. We are, where we means Tlon. Tlon is running Hoon School, which currently has its first session ongoing. You should reach out to Urbit at urbit.org via email if you're interested in joining Hoon School. They're doing, currently their curriculum is just exercises and like office hours where you get to ask specific questions about that. But yeah, you should if you're interested, you should reach out. There's people much more capable than me who are happy to help you intro into the language. Nimpandollar asks, can you explain what's going on with the reparsing? With reparsing the response JSON in parse video details, mainly with how the incantation for duration ends up using the parser below. Let's see. Sure. What was it? Parse video details. Parse video details. It's right here on the screen the entire time. Right. So the way it ends up with the incantation below is that you see the hap here, which we pass into Sue. That actually comes from the tis hap, which is a reverse tis luz. So if we do like so, then here I can access a, but if we do tis hap, then I define a here and access it here. And of course, because tis luz just adds things to the subject, I would access that as hap, lark syntax for the head of the subject. And in the tis hap case, you're just reversing that. It's kind of might have been hard to make out here because the tis hap has like a substantial body to it, and the thing below is only used here. What you might want to do instead, like, is use this with a name if that worked. But you could be like parse duration, and then put that here, like so, because you're adding a face to it with gettis. Oh, don't worry about derailing me, Internet Funhouse. This is what the stream is for. I think it's cool that people are actually talking in chat now. It seemed a bit quiet earlier. So I did not do Hoon School personally. We only started with that this year. I've been working with Hoon since mid-late 2016. So learning Hoon back then was pretty Spartan, let me tell you. Does that answer your question, Nippon? Let me know. In the meantime, find random from videos. We can probably find a random from videos. Video lists. And then count the amount of items in that list is what we actually care about. And then I have to look up the OG core, which might be in Hoon.Hoon instead, for random number generation. Since we're just doing single use here, we don't need to do anything fancy, and I think we can just say rad with like whatever the length is. Rad OG any for entropy, which is in the subject by default, and then whatever this is, that gives us random numbers. Look at that. Cool. So we can then snag such a random number count video list. There. It gets you a random item from the list. I'm pretty sure this goes to zeros also. Yeah, it does zeros. Cool. So we get a next ID and a queue. Queue gets updated already, so we just get the next ID. I think that's it. Yeah, that should be it. Is this the entire chain for like updating timers and queues and things? Roll it now. 6, 7. Yes, that should be now from bull, not bull from now. Nest fail. ID Q. Right, this should also produce a queue that is unchanged. I kind of don't like how this body of code here is bigger than everything that comes after it. You could, like, this is the kind of use that Tisket is made for. You could do something here again with tishap, but that might get a little ugly. I think we're fine like this. I wouldn't worry about it too much. 208 nest filing? Yes, because it wants moves also. Oh, we need to set the next timer. That's true. So, how much can we just copy from this? Literally this? Just modify it to be its ID. So what we can do then generalize this by saying just video ID, next ID again for clarity, and have this produce the output that we want like 99% of the time, which is this bit here. So this, and then produces that move, which is what we want also in the case above. Oh no, this also updates queue. Is this entirely right? You pop it right away. I think that's right. No, this is wrong. If we had no videos, if we was idle. So we was idle, we if we weren't idle, we do nothing. But if we were idle, then we update. We pop from the queue right away and then play next from the head of the queue. Yes, if there is still no queue, even though we were idle, then we also do nothing. This feels a bit strange, but I think it's correct. I wanna comment this out. Update, update with new videos. Potential new videos. If we weren't playing yet, and there's a queue now, start playing. Let's see. Okay. Play next works. I think that's good. I mean, not good enough apparently. 117, let's fail. This is too much information. Again, you need to like cast it to a list. Because like it's thinking this is a list instead, so a list with at least one item, and the type system kind of trips up over that when you do checks like this and then try to treat it as a list afterwards. Royal pain, still an ongoing issue. Same error though? Kidding me. Oh, 171, 172, yes, so that is on this one. This feels profoundly stupid to do. But like this is how you solve for too much information, by just not having too much information in the first place. Oh, of course. Right, because then you need that information to access these things in the first place. Hang on. There should be a way to do this without resorting to scag and slag. Like, take an item and take F. That's it. From a list, like, generically. Casting it is really not doing it? What? Queue, list video. Queue is still a list of video. Yeah. Is this really not sufficient? I'm kind of surprised. I thought you could just cast it to get rid of the problem. Is play next not producing? Play next gives you this. This is what we want to produce here. Yeah, I think it's just on this one. Syntax, like the stack traces for errors involving these sometimes get a little weird. And yes, Nimpan, thank you for sharing those resources. You're absolutely right. If you're interested in Urbit at all, what you should do is just boot up a Comet or try and get yourself a planet and join Urbit Help on. It's there for your questions, your curiosity. You ask, we answer. I'm just gonna do the stupid dump thing with this, just to get it over with. I can't quite remember what the more elegant solution is. Skip one, I think. I'll double check this just in case. Slag 1. Yep, that's what I need. One. Play next idea. It's not producing video ID correctly. I don't know where the type of queue is. Yeah, this might actually also be a good time to try out if this actually works. Certainly hope it does. Yeah, I guess. I do like the... Oh no, that is not what I want. Same error though. Video ID, so this is good. Nothing wrong with this. Oh, I see something exactly wrong with this. From that, you want to take a Q. No, I'm lying, you want to take P. This is, again, the P for the key of the item in the map, and then Q, the value. Rep call. There, cool. It's fine to go. This feels a bit ugly, but like you can put this into a one-liner. Feels a bit much. Okay, so what I want to do is go onto YouTube and search for a bunch of videos that are like exceedingly short. That way maybe we can get a high iteration time on this. I should also, if it's trying to play next while we don't have any videos at all, which is the case if we get a timer after we've reset state, we want it to just silently drop timer. Okay. Let me collect a bunch of short YouTube video URLs I'm finding here. I think we're probably fine to just like take like 2 or 3 of these. This way we can get like a good idea of if it actually works, if things are in the queue. Oh, but the parsing for this didn't work. Right. Let me just take one that is just this one, and replace the video ID, hard-coded. I am really sorry about not getting this to work. Like, I don't know what the fuck is up with this. These structures are a royal pain. This min cove thing, I don't know. I'll look into that off stream. Hopefully get a fix for that in. Yes, so this is our hard-coded thing. Next song length is that duration. Okay, so if we kick that off now. Oh, it's too bad. 171, what's up with that? And queue. Oh, the queue might be empty here. Wait, no. The queue cannot be empty here. 171. It's crashing on the snag, meaning it's trying to get something out of. But. Oh, this is silly. I shouldn't take that out before I update the queue. A slightly better way to do this would be to say, take this. And update queue in that. Just call like so. Called. Good. Oh. Okay. Playing the next song, and maybe in 18 seconds we get the timer called for application. Oh, hey, it's now playing that thing. It's the same thing, of course, but there it is. It's looping over the one thing in the video library. If we can actually get different things into this if we start persisting state. And then this would be, God, I don't actually know. Let me cheat and look this up. This is the lid, of course. Look here instead. There's like a little thing you can do. Yeah, that's the one. That's what I'm looking for. That's Lark pointing to your state in the subject, which is ugly that you need to do that in the first place, but this is not where we want this, by the way. Up here. So if we update that and then put a different one in here. Now if we debug this, you can see that it's still in the state. DJ error sound effect. Brilliant. If we add the next one in, then it should pop this off the queue and see that's much shorter, 3 seconds. And it should flip-flop between picking those now. So the only thing missing here is still, like, it's doing this. We don't have submission things, and we don't have a way to get the currently playing state out of the application, for that matter. Which is crucial functionality. You'll want that in to like actually do something with this. But like all of the logic is now there, except for this mysterious case. Cool though. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised I managed to get this done on stream. It was actually kind of fun. Is there anyone in the audience who still has a question they want to ask, or am I fine shutting stream down? Of course, there's the delay between video going out to the people and their comments coming back. That's for just a little bit of time. We definitely should spend some time putting comments like these throughout the code base. Like this is helpful. This line is getting too long. This to-do is no longer reasonable. Do we have any other to-dos in here? The subscribers, yes, we know. Figure that out. I will never figure that out. Okay, I will figure that out. I will definitely try. But I don't think it's going to be very fun to sit here and watch me figure this out on my own. Probably sleep on it, come back to it tomorrow, and we'll see. I see no more comments in stream chat. Did everyone leave? That's too bad. I guess I'll leave too though. We managed to get pretty far. I hope it was at least somewhat educational for the people watching. This isn't definitely not a crash course into Hoon or anything. But like maybe you could see what we did with the general application structure, which I should maybe walk over again briefly. This is actually current goal isn't very it's kind of not nice in certain ways. It's definitely not easy to make an app that strings things together. But like what we've done here is we've kind of written a sequence of arms where you like poke it with some input to make it watch that talk channel. And then you get the results from that, and whenever you get a result, you get the video ID out of that result, request details for that, receive details, parse them, and then act on those accordingly. Then Occasionally you'll get a timer event which make you want to play next. For simple Gall applications like this, I think it is really nice to structure it so that you can kind of walk down the path of the logic. For more complex applications with many more entry points, that is of course not feasible, but for simple cases like this, keeping this structure like without futzing around with quote-unquote engines, where you would say, so this is my cool sir structure, and then within this you would like this would look something like this, where you initialize a structure, you I always call it done, which like produces the structure that it's updated. Like if you're dealing with more complex applications that have bigger chunks of state rather than just simple lists, like in our case, this allows you to be very specific about, oh, all the logic that deals with my cool structure lives in this core. So instead of sequencing your arms like we're doing here, you're breaking them up into very specifically the data that they deal with, which is something Hall does and many other smaller but still not super small applications. Like it's a pattern you'll often see. New Gall might make it easier to work with that pattern, but I don't think it's always the right fit. You'll either want an application that's based on its like data structures, like with the cool structure we just described, or you'll want something that's just a sequence of operations based on the requests and response pattern that it does. So like, oh, if we get this event, we flow into this part of our code base. And being able to split that out instead of having like many different arms in a single application like this, you can imagine a world in which that is designed in such a way that you end up with kind of a Unix pipe like functionality where you get to chain things together. Like, oh, if we receive a message, put it through this simple function that checks for a URL, and if it is a URL, that will then call out to this module that makes a request to that URL, and then for the response, put it into this parser which searches for a specific threat string, something along those lines. And then you can like swap those pieces around. I think that might be really cool for new Gall to support. Essentially, that's just more powerful generators, I suppose. In any case, it is nearly midnight here, so I think I will cut the stream here. Everyone who tuned in, thank you so much. Everyone who talks in chat, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you guys. I may stream development of this again next weekend. I may not. We'll have to see. There isn't that much interesting work to be done here still. Like after you get the queries in, then it's just a matter of writing some JavaScript front end that listens to that and displays the YouTube videos to you, and then rotates through them as you go. I'll definitely put the source for this up on GitHub eventually. I'll tweet that out, I'll put that in the description of this video, and then you can peruse that as you feel. Alright, this is it. Everyone, thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.